Thank you for tuning in to the NSUSpartans.com football coaches show for the week of November 8th. I'm Matt Mahalik, joined as always by Coach Adrian. And Coach, your second straight win on Saturday, a solid 37-25 victory over Morgan State. And of course, the thing everyone's talking about is the offense really came to life, over 400 yards of offense, and just seemed to move the ball at will on Saturday.
Well, yeah, it was by far our best game of the year offensively. Kind of hit on all cylinders. I mean, anytime you have a quarterback go 20 for 22 for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns, there's a lot that goes into that. The offensive line gave them great protection, and the receivers made some very nice catches.
Sure, you mentioned 20 for 22, a single game school record, I should say, for Chris Walley in completion percentage. And we've seen him get off to some hot starts at home games earlier in the season, but this one seemed to be his best effort yet. What all went into that performance? You mentioned the line played well, but obviously Chris just seemed to be in a bit of a zone there on Saturday.
Well, yeah, he was, obviously reading his keys very well, and the plays that they were giving to him, he had a choice. We made some nice calls from up top, and they went down and executed the game plan, and that's what happened.
Sure. Now, Morgan State was able to move the ball as well, but at least in the first half you were able to hold them to field goals several times, and it seemed like Morgan State could never quite get over that hump there. Obviously, move the ball some on your defense, but your defense came up with enough big plays to kind of keep that separation between you and them.
Well, that's always the bottom line. I mean, whether you win the game 10-9 or 37-25, the bottom line is to win it. Somewhere along the line, you got to make a play. And we played really solid red zone defense. I think the biggest thing that hurt us Saturday was the short fields that they were given throughout the kicking game, and just like turning the ball over. I think our second series, they gave them the ball on the 10-yard line and was able to get out of that with just a field goal. And we made a couple of nice stops on fourth down. So that's what you got to do. You got to play a whole ball game.
Right. And in the fourth quarter, Morgan State got within 5 at one point, 30-25. You got the ball back with a couple minutes left and had that key third down. Obviously, you chose to go with the pass and turn into a big play for Donovan Cotton, scoring the touchdown that kind of put things away. What went into that drive as far as your mindset, getting that first down and making that big play?
Well, we really thought at that time, with time left in the game, if we could get 2 first downs in that situation, then they would have less than probably a minute or minute and a half with no timeouts and have to score a touchdown. Of course, it worked out great for us, getting a big play on third down for the touchdown, which iced the football game.
Talk a little, too, if you could, about Donovan Cotton. Last year, we saw him more as the backup running back behind D'Angelo Branch. This year, he's doing a lot more out of the backfield, catching passes, and he got some great downfield blocks on that one play, but a lot of that was his own individual effort, too.
Well, yeah, I think it's because it's Keem Hedgeman. Keem, we redshirted a year ago, and he's back, and he's really kind of taken over that running spot like that, and Donovan's been able to move outside and take advantage of what he can do. He catches the ball very well. He runs some pretty good routes, and he has good speed with that. And along those same lines, too, I really thought that Estep making that 45-yard field goal the first time that we had the football really lifted us up, too. That was a big psychological lift for us.
You mentioned Ryan Estep kicked a career-high 3 field goals, and he was one of 3 Spartans who got weekly conference honors this week. Estep for special teams, Kendall Noble, his second Offensive Lineman of the Week award, as well as Chris Walley on offense. So obviously it's nice to see Spartans back getting those kind of weekly awards for their performance.
No question about it, and they always feel good about it.
Now, speaking about Chris Walley, we had a chance to talk with him a little bit about Saturday's performance, and here's what Chris had to say. Continuing on in the NSUSpartans.com football coaches show, we're joined now by junior quarterback Chris Walley after last Saturday's 37-25 win over Morgan State. And Chris, 20 for 22, 305 yards. What was working so well for you on Saturday?
I think the whole offense as a whole was just clicking. Play calling was great this week. I got to give a lot of credit to the offensive line. I think we had 1 hurry, no sacks, and the wide receivers, making plays, catching the ball and running with it.
When was the last time, or have you ever had a time where you've only thrown 2 incomplete passes for a whole game, 20 for 22? Have you ever had a game like that?
No, never. I mean, that's a game to remember there. It was fun. It was a fun game. But like I said, just everything coming together, and good things happen.
You mentioned the receivers play particularly well. 9 different receivers you're able to complete passes to, and 4 different guys caught touchdowns. I'm sure that's been kind of one of the goals of the spread offense, is to try to get the ball to as many people as you did on Saturday.
Oh yeah, I mean, you always want to do that. You never want to have just one guy you're going to, because then defenses start to click on that, and they know where you're going. So being able to complete the ball to 9 different guys and 4 different guys on touchdowns, the next opponent's kind of worried.
and after just 9 games in your NSU career, now you already get your name in the NSU record book, because that is a record for completion percentage in a game, about 91%. So I guess that never hurts to be able to say, hey, I already got the school record under my belt this quick.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's always fun. You always want to succeed as an individual, but the biggest thing, it's a team, and it took a team effort to be able to have that record. So if they could put everybody's names under it, I'd be just happy with that.
Now the Spartans had a 4-game losing streak early in the season. Now 1-2 in a row, 2 games still left. What are some of the goals that the team has for these last 2 games?
We need to win these next 2. Obviously, the season isn't what we wanted, but we can still go out with a winning record. And they, from what I've heard, that hasn't been done 2 years in a row for a while. So hopefully we can end with that, end the season on a positive note and going into next year.
All right, Chris, well, we thank you for joining us today. Again, that's Spartan quarterback Chris Walley, the MEAC Offensive Player of the Week for his performance against Morgan State. Now back to Coach Adrian. Back now with Coach Adrian, and looking ahead to your final home game this Saturday, 1 p.m. this Saturday against Delaware State, a team that you've had some memorable games with the last 3 years. Each team that's won the last 3 years has come from way down. What are you expecting out of Delaware State on Saturday?
Well, it's going to be a real fight. I mean, they match up real well against us, and they're a very productive team. The record's very deceiving. They've been in every game they've played. They've lost a couple of tight, close ball games. I think their offense is 3rd in the league in productivity. They got a veteran quarterback. It's a 5th-year senior. Decent offensive line. They've got probably the most speed we'll see all year, a wide receiver. And they got the big running back, number 45, who's had a great year at the end of the year last year, and he's about 225 pounds. And with Coach Petty running their defense has always been a very solid and well-coached defense. So we know we're going to have to play an outstanding football game, and hopefully we will, and see what happens. I mean, it's always been a tough game, and it's gone down to the wire, like you said, for the 3 years, the very last play of each ball game. And I probably hope it doesn't happen like that again. But hey, if you do, you hope you're on the right end of the stick.
Now it'll be, as I said, your final home game of the season this year. That means it's Senior Day. We have 20 members of the Spartan football team that will be playing in their final home game Saturday. What will that be like for you, seeing some of these guys who've been so key to your program over the years, like Branch, Calton Ford, Ray Jennings, and Jamie Short, guys like that, just to name a few, who've really been integral in getting this program where it is now? What will that be like for you, seeing them hit that field for the last time Saturday?
Well, Senior Day is always a tough day because, for 99.9% of all these kids, it's the last football game they're ever going to play. I know we have one more, but at home it'll be the last one that they ever play. And it's always sad to see that career, because you can always go play basketball somewhere, and softball and baseball and things like that. But tackle football, it's very limited where you can go, so that's kind of sad. And of course, these seniors are really, they're very motivated. They want to win the last 2 games, and if they do win the last 2 games, they will have won more games as a senior class than any senior class since 1985. And that was Dick Price's last recruiting season, I think, if I read my stats right. So that's a real goal that they have. Plus, they'd like to finish with back-to-back winning seasons for the first time. And of course, for that to happen, we have to beat Del State. So that's really our motivation.
All right, well, we look forward to the game this Saturday. Again, it's 1 p.m. at Dick Price Stadium. Military Appreciation Day as well as Family Day, on top of it being Senior Day for members of the Spartan football team. If you can't make it out, follow the action at nsuspartans.com, and for more information, be sure to check out the same site, nsuspartans.com, for everything you need to know on Spartan football.